Okay, so here we have 4 different missions we can do. Oh, well, 3. You don't get the final one until a little bit later. But basically, we have Cauldron, Shrouded Forest, and Great Megalith. And here, you'll find that you can actually play as other characters than Sonic. Yay, we can actually play as the Knights of the Round Table. But also, if you go here, we have the final option you can do for the blacksmith, which is create weapons for the Knights of the Round Table. I'm not going to be bothering. I'm not really going to bother with this. Basically, though, you get the right items that you see on the right there, or rather in the middle, and it will say like, oh, you need all this. Question mark if you haven't got the item before, and you know. It's an interesting little extra, I suppose. I don't really use the Knights of the Round Table too often, but they actually did put a decent amount of effort into them. Like the weapons have different attributes and skills to them, I believe, and the characters themselves actually play a little bit differently from Sonic. And it's what I mentioned in my Sonic 3 playthrough, is that they should make it so other optional, like, other characters are playable, but you never have to play as them. But if you do, you'll find that they play similar to Sonic, but they have their own attributes and skills that make them stand out as their own character. So, like, you have different specials, you have different specials, you have different, like, attacks and stuff like that. It's really just general stuff like that. It's like, what is it? I just wish they would go back to this kind of setup for multiple characters. I like another adventure game, but realistically the best way they should go about multiple characters is just make it like this game or Sonic 3, where you have all the characters play similar to Sonic, but they all have their own kind of style to them, and they feel different in their own sense. So. But yeah, what is it? These missions, again, are in, what is it? The beat the clock kind of setup, so, yeah. Again, you really shouldn't have trouble with the timer here, because it's really, generous. And also, Shadow's Soul Surge does actually, like, phase through, like, objects, so it's like that upgrade I mentioned earlier, where if you upgrade one of the styles, I don't know which one, but one of them makes it so if you use a Soul Surge, you'll just go through objects without taking damage. But with Shadow, you're always going to have that ability, so that's pretty nice. And also the music here is glorious. Again, I feel like the soundtrack is really good in this game. Like, it's not one of my favorites, but I like the new kind of style it has going on. Because it's set in King Arthur's period. It's set in the King Arthur's world and all that, and it has a unique style, I suppose. I don't know. I kind of like it. And yeah, it's called Chaos Punishment here, it's not Chaos Control. Speaking of which, you can actually unlock, if you get Lancelot's best weapon, which is basically the last one on the list, you'll basically do a Chaos Blast move every time you do Shadow's Soul Surge attack, which is a kind of a nice touch. Alright. Okay, a lot of new stuff.
This must be a barrier stone. This stone is but part of the ring that sealeth the Dark Hollow. Dark Hollow? What is Merlina up to now?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing the missions in the story order, like what the story does it in the... Basically, I'm gonna be doing the missions in the order the game expects you to do it. So Shrouded Forest, Great Megalith, and then the Cauldron. And also, I'm gonna be using the characters that canonically go through the levels. So Knuckles goes here, but you don't have to play as these characters again. You can, if you want to, you can just play as Sonic here, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, basically, Knuckles is more of a multi-hit kind of character where you keep shaking your Wii remote and it'll do multiple slashes like that. So it's a lot easier to kill the big enemies and just like clusters of small ones. And also we special. We throw the swords instead of attacking directly. It's a little bit harder to time the perfect hit bonus with this special, but hey, it's a lot easier than trying to do it with Percival, which we'll get to after this mission. But yeah. One other thing that is pretty cool that they put into the game is that if you... Wait, let me just take care of these guys first. But if you just hold A, you can just glide. It doesn't last forever, but yeah, you can just keep gliding. And it's actually quite nice that they put that in the game. Now, one thing is that that's really weird about Knuckles. I'm just gonna call them by their names from the main series. But one thing about Knuckles is that climbing walls is actually more difficult for him than it is for any other character. So it's like if you press A on the wall, Knuckles will move up like 4 spaces or something, and then he'll stop. It's just really kind of awkward to manage. It's kind of weird to explain, but if you played the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. But these spider guys, they need to die. Yeah, I definitely enjoy playing as Sonic the most, but I don't know, I like these other characters. Percival is actually one of my favorites, contrary to what a lot of people say. But, you know, there are some things I don't like about Percival's gameplay, but I don't know, I enjoy the moveset for the most part. Alright, I'm gonna... Yeah, it's really... The thing with these 2D sections is that it's really awkward to, know where the hitbox is for those spears. So, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But yeah, just gonna keep killing some enemies and be on my merry way. Ah, come on. This looks like an area you'd have for a boss or something. I don't know, maybe. But I guess one thing I could mention is that one of the extra missions you can do is what is it called? It's like, I forget what it's called, but a legacy mission. That's it. Basically, you go through. There's one legacy mission for each area, and except for the final area, which is just the final boss and nothing else. But besides that, there's a legacy mission in all the others, and it basically has rings, silver rings like in Secret Rings, and the flying bandits from Heroes, and just it has a lot of objects you see from a main Sonic game. So it's a pretty It's a pretty cool bonus. And we're done. I like how there are like trolls in cages as well. Oh. Okay. All the new stuff, me like. Alright, we're done. No, I don't need to do that.
Here it is. Yeah!
When the sacred sword pierces stone, so shall return the power. What of Excalibur, greatest of all sacred swords? The king wore its scabbard, but I never saw the sword itself.
Yeah, King Arthur never actually used Excalibur. It was the sword he had was a different type of sword. I don't know what it's called exactly, but yeah, it wasn't Excalibur. So we'll be seeing some. That's basically foreshadowing. A lot of these, what is it? Well, Knuckles and Shadow's like end level cutscenes are basically foreshadowing like later events. So yeah. Now, the thing with Percival is that a lot of people don't really seem to like her because she plays so differently. Now, if you just like attack, she'll basically just like kind of warp to enemies. Like, it's kind of weird to explain, but you just keep slashing and she'll kind of like zip like through all of them. And her jump attack is kind of awkward to like try and attack enemies with, because most of the time you'll just go flying past them. So yeah, she's definitely the most different out of all the characters. But yeah, you have, if you like push the control stick backwards and then spin at the same time, or shake at the same time, you get that little flame ring, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just not. The only thing I don't like about her is that the jump aerial attack or whatever. She also has a double jump, which can be helpful and also not helpful sometimes, and she actually runs up the walls. But yeah, I actually do enjoy playing as Percival because I don't know, I actually enjoy this kind of gameplay, but that's just me. Yeah, these sections here can be kind of a nuisance to do because of the double jump that Percival has. But if you play your cards right, you should be good. Yes. Alright. And this section here, you have to avoid these little lava or fire geysers, I guess. Whatever you'd call them. Alright, so you don't have to. Okay, so you don't have to worry about like jumping off or anything, because that will happen automatically. But yeah, just take care of these guys, and yeah, oh man, the lava kind of reminds me of the way it looks in Skyward Sword. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Okay, so we're almost at the end here. Yeah, a lot of people seem to have issues with this level. I can kind of see why, but if you play your cards right, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. Now, this move, I have no idea how you get perfect hit bonuses with this thing. So, it's really just, you just use it and you just run into enemies, really. I have no real strategy for it. Okay, don't do that. I didn't even shake, man. Alright, so you kind of just, to move in the direction you want to move, basically just hold A, and then move the control stick in the direction you want to move. And I'm like not even shaking at all, so I don't know why it's doing that. Alright. There we go. Almost there. Come on. Yeah, Percival has the longest attack on the wall, so it can be kind of be costful for your time, but it's not too bad.
The time for practice is over.
Yeah, that kind of failed. Oh well, I didn't die.
This must be it. Ha! Our fate is now in your hands, Sir Sonic.
So I'm gonna assume that they all go to their different barriers at the exact same time, because otherwise it would kind of waste time, like waiting for everyone. But you can only do Dragon's Lair when you've done all the others, so